Hey guys, Allie Marie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to chat with you a little bit about conversion and how it's a constant process, and sometimes we might have to look the part before we fully feel the part. So when I converted to Catholicism, I was 21 years old and I was life of the party kind of girl. I was not concerned about the afterlife. I was not concerned about developing virtue. I was simply concerned about having fun and making sure that everyone around me was focused on me and having fun and was entertained as well. When I converted to Catholicism, I lost a big part of myself with that. I viewed it as a very narrow box that I had to fit into, and I felt as though I couldn't have fun anymore because, not that Catholicism teaches what Baptists teach, not that I couldn't drink alcohol anymore, not that any of those pieces. It was more I saw Catholicism as very measured, as balanced, as predictable, and trying to find that part in myself took away some of my spontaneity, some of my desire to have fun, to laugh, to be carefree, to make jokes, to be satirical, all of these pieces. I wanted to be exactly as Christ was, and Christ doesn't crack a lot of jokes in the New Testament, right? It's very straightforward. He speaks in parables, it's metaphoric. Anything that he states that was written down is the epitome of what we should be working toward, to be more like, how to treat other people. So I didn't see much room for fun. I didn't see much room for just having a good time and developing relationships with people. But Christ had relationships with those around him. There's a verse in the Bible that says that there wouldn't be enough books on this earth to put everything down that Christ ever did. And so Christ obviously had conversations. He had interactions that had nothing to do with what is in the Bible. Granted, they were all virtuous. Granted, they were perfect, but he was a carpenter. He made pieces that were beautiful to look at. I'm sure that his interactions were, people laughed, people had a good time. They wanted to visit his shop because they knew he was going to offer a fair price. They knew that they were going to, they knew that he was going to welcome them with a smile and everything else. Anybody that encountered him wanted to work with him. They wanted to be around him. And with this narrow-minded view of what it means to be Catholic, of saying, well, we have to be, anything we have to say has to be aligned with pro-life. Anything that we say has to be aligned with anything that the Catholic doctrine would teach. We have to be defending our priests. We have to be standing up for the preborn. We have to be doing all of these things. And we put our blinders on to anything that is outside of this narrow scope of teaching Catholic doctrine, of being sure that we are being a witness directly to Christ with every single interaction. We end up not seeing people. We see this narrow view of who we think, how we think everybody should think. We see this narrow-minded view and we lose that relational aspect. I've noticed that so much here recently. I've gotten bigger into the world of TikTok again, kind of honing in a little bit on the good parts of it and finding some content creators who make it feel like a community. They're sharing their life, they're talking, they're just being themselves, but also focusing on what makes them healthy, focusing on what makes them feel comfortable in their homes, focusing on different pieces of our physicality, parts of our physical life that are important because we are physical beings. And it has made a world of a difference for me to feel like I'm a part of a community again that is beyond this narrow scope of everything needs to be Catholic, everything needs to be right in line. We have to be talking about having a consistent life ethic. We have to be talking about this, like I have to be doing these things. When in reality, that relational piece comes first. And for me, having to do a 180 in my conversion, having to shift so much of my previous life into this new life, having to abandon so much of myself, it's taken me these 8 years to get to the point where I'm like, I don't feel like a person a lot of the time. I'm not having fun. I'm not laughing as much as I want to. And obviously there are other factors in life that contribute to that, but I would say that was when that shift started. when I started taking myself way too seriously, when I started taking the faith to be the epitome of anything I should ever spend any iota of time on, who has time for fiction? I would see Catholics reading a fiction book, and I'm like, why aren't you reading a book by a saint? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you reading the Bible? And it's like, oh, we're physical beings, and we are built for community. We are built for enjoyment. Christ attended parties. He did all of these things that were a part of this world, right? We are supposed to be in this world, but not of it. And that means that there are aspects that we are to be a part of. And a huge part of that is community. It's that relational piece. It's about just being present with people, about having a good time, about conversing with them, learning their life stories, telling jokes, being enjoyable with each other's company, and being in that community. For me, one of the things that I lost along the way was working out. I used to be gung-ho about working out, and I've recently discovered a couple content creators that have been really inspirational to me to get back to that point. And as I said in the beginning of this video, sometimes conversion can feel funny, and we might have to look the part a while before we're actually there. So right now, I am not in shape. I have about 25 pounds I need to lose. That's baby weight, and that was everything that's accumulated over the years. But so I have about 25 pounds before I would feel healthy, right? It's not that I'm, not that I think I'm like a terrible person, not that I think, it's not out of vanity, it's out of pure health that I am overweight. And so as I convert to this lifestyle of eating healthier, to this lifestyle of working out consistently, to this lifestyle shift, I might not look the best in the clothes that I wear. I mean, we need to be dressing ourselves well and modestly and everything else, but the way that I'm used to dressing as an athletic person, I don't feel like I fit that demographic quite yet. But in order to get there, I have to dress that way. I have to dress in workout clothes to work out, even if I don't quite yet feel comfortable in those workout clothes. So if you are coming back to the faith, if you are reverting to the faith, if you are trying to grow in the faith, hold the rosary. It's going to feel funny. It's going to feel funny to pick that up and hold it in your hand. Read the Bible. It's going to feel funny to pick it up and maybe not recognize a couple of the books and be like, wait, I'm looking for the book of James. Where is it? Why can't I find it? It's going to feel funny picking up your journal and taking notes again. But you have to start somewhere. And then eventually that somewhere turns into a habit. And when that habit becomes a piece of who you are, something that you're pursuing on a daily basis, something that is so intrinsically a part of you that you can't even hardly remember what life was like before that was instilled, that's when God can do the most work. That's when your healthy body can produce the most good cells. It's when the Holy Spirit can produce the most fruit of the Spirit. When you'll see all of that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That's when it all comes forward, is when it's become a habit. So we have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to step out of this box that we've been keeping ourselves in. And we have to say, how can I be more relational? How can I open my ears, open my eyes, open my peripheral vision to meet people where they are in all walks of life, not just this very narrow bit of people that maybe I'm trying to talk to, but how can I meet the world? How can I meet any person at any given moment to help them join me on this conversion that I am experiencing, on this path toward holiness, on this path toward life-giving friendship? How can you help somebody today to join that? And what steps do you need to take that might be outside of that comfort zone, that might feel a little funny initially? What steps do you need to take so that that discomfort can dissipate within a few weeks? It doesn't take long, but you have to start. I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know what you need. I'm happy to help if I can. Put it in the comments. I am happy to help in any way that I can. I know I am posting a lot more over on Instagram and TikTok, so a lot of my TikTok stuff makes its way to Instagram, so just be sure to follow there. It's at Allie Marie here. I am just excited to be able to join this community, as I said, and grow with so many different people and allow other people to inspire me. To say, oh, I can be inspired by somebody else without that meaning that I was inferior in some way. It doesn't mean that I needed to, it doesn't mean that I was somehow worse. You know, like somebody can inspire me and it can be so fruitful. That's part of what community is about, is allowing other people into our lives and into our hearts so that we can grow together, so that we can grow as children of God, so that we can grow just as human beings, helping each other along the way, because like that is why God created Eve, was so that Adam could have a helpmate. It's what the literal verbiage means, helpmate. And so that is what we are all here for each other with. And I just pray that you're able to find that person that inspires you, that helps you grow closer to God, that helps you cultivate the life that is around you. You only live once. It's a Christian doctrine if you look at it on its superficial level. Like, you only live once. You get one chance to get to heaven. There's no reincarnation, anything like that. You get one chance. And so we have to be being stewards of things that are around us, caring for our homes. We have to be stewards of our bodies, our only physical body. We have to be being stewards of our spirit, of our minds, allowing only good into our minds, not spending time on consuming junk food. Right? We are called to be stewards. And so I urge you to start that conversion today, because conversion is a constant process. It doesn't happen overnight, but you have to start. Just like me. I'm starting right now with a couple different things. So I do hope that you'll join my journey over on Instagram. I don't know how inspirational I really can be. I'm kind of just posting whatever it is that I'm doing in my life. I'm just like, okay, well, here's what I do for this, and here's what I do for this, and now we're making cupcakes, and now I'm working out, and now here's this. I have just decided I cannot do a niche audience anymore. I can't do it. I just want to be myself. If people want to follow, great. If they don't want to follow, great. I am posting for me. I can't post anymore with blinders. I can't post anymore with this idea of like, okay, I am targeting, 30-year-olds that are looking for this or that and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, no, this is just my life. And I'm not gonna curate it. I'm not going to eliminate aspects that are genuinely me. I'm not going to have a conversion to Instagram. Gosh, I guess that's what it would be, in my opinion. I'm not going to shift my life around so that it can fit this boxy narrative that is Instagram. Now, granted, I love following curated accounts. I think they're beautiful. I think certain ones give me like major inspiration. I feel I follow like a farmhouse Instagram that's posting all these house renovations that I think look amazing. Our house is not a farmhouse. We cannot do a lot of those styles. My husband reminds me incessantly. But it's just nice to be surrounded by beauty. It's nice to look at things because beauty, it was and is created by God. So we can see that and we can see the stewardship and the thought that is put into choosing the particular colors, choosing all these things. And while we want those pieces to be genuine, we can look at that and we can say to ourselves, does this feel authentic or does it not? Because some will be and some will not be. And for me, it's very easy to tell for myself which ones feel one way or the other. So, we have to still be using our prudential decision making, still be using our minds and allowing that which influences us to be of God, to be of something that will bring us closer to his kingdom, to be something that when somebody comes into our home, they aren't distracted by paint peeling off a wall. They aren't distracted by, filth. They aren't distracted by anything, that they can focus on the relationship. They can focus on the person in front of them. They can hear you. They can listen. They aren't feeling like they need to help clean up while they're there. We have that duty to ourselves, to each other, to God, to be proper stewards. Sloth is one of the 7 deadly sins. Now, there are exceptions to, mental health crises are real. People experiencing depression, unable to get up. There is physical debilitations that go on that prevent somebody from being able to clean and get up. And at that point, that is when we have to ask for help. That's where the community comes into play, where we do call that person who, when they come over, if things are a little bit of a mess, they just start cleaning, and you just call them and you say, gosh, I could really use some help right now. I haven't been able to get stuff cleaned up and I really need some motivation. And I can guarantee you ask for help and it will show up for you. God promises that. Knock and the door will be opened. Ask and you shall receive. So ask for that help if you need it, but allow that to be a part of your conversion as well, that you're saying, I'm built for community. And right now I need help. And then in another stage, I can offer help to somebody else. And it's a push-pull, ebb and flow, all through life. It's what a conversion is. It's not a straight line. It's not something that we stay in this box and just kind of push it straight along. It's not a cart that goes straight down the aisle. It's a cart that forgot something back in aisle 5. So we go back and we get it, and then we start the process again. So thanks for joining me today, guys. It's always a pleasure to get to chat with you. Thanks for caring about me. I don't know why you do, but God bless you for it, and may the Lord just continue to bless your hearts, because He knows how much of a blessing you have been to me. So take care. I'll talk to you soon.